First of all, it's understanding that there is an issue, and men also should be part of the solution. If it's not your problem, then you could be part of the solution, and you should be part of the solution.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley in partnership with WomenTech, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Serona Partners, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today I'm with Anna Radulovski, founder and CEO of WomenTech Network. Anna is a mother, an award-winning entrepreneur, and advocate for diversity in tech. She is also the founder of WomenTech Network and Tallocate, connecting diverse professionals with companies that put diversity and inclusion first. As a regional director at the Silicon Valley-based Founder Institute, Anna helps founders to start and launch impactful companies. Anna Radulovski, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's really nice to meet you, Anna. The work that you're doing to empower female entrepreneurs and female leaders is incredible. You're the co-founder of multiple organizations, and I'm going to let you talk about that in just a minute. But I want to understand, before we get into women tech and the different things that you're involved with, what is it about female leadership and female entrepreneurship that really got you hooked initially on this mission to empower women worldwide to go into these fields and take leadership positions?
All right, that's a really good question. And when I think about it, the very first time, I think, when I started to notice the things that caused me to motivated and provoked me to dive deep into the problem, when I started to find myself to be one of the few women at tech conference. It's a bit like a small meetup or like a really big conference. And I was like, what's going on here? Where are all the women? Aren't they actually interested in like tech and coding? And there are so many roles within tech industry, right? So, and I just and even when we see at different tech big events that women are speaking, and then they just go into the crowd, like when it used to be. Right now, of course, many events, or majority of the events are virtual, and they are often people don't think that they actually can code, and that is so stunning. So how does an engineer should look like? So you think, okay, this is actually the girl that can do that. So that's actually the guy that can do that. And different things. And I just started to become really interested in the problem. And I think that's many founders, because I'm also a part of Founder Institute, which is the largest pre-seed acceleration program in the world. So many founders make often this mistake when they become passionate, not with the problem, but with the solution. That's why it's very hard for them to pivot, to start building something else, because they think the product is really cool and this is gonna work. And this must work because I really love this product. But in the reality, you need to fall in love with the problem to try to find different solutions. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Should I try this? So you really want to make sure that you want to solve the problem.
Very, very cool. And Anna, you founded two organizations, and I'd love to do sort of a deep dive with you into those two. And both hear the founding story stemming from the need and to the great milestones that you've achieved in both. And then I'm trying to uncover what you learned from each of them in their own respective domains. The first one, Coding Girls, that you founded almost 5 years ago, starting with a workshop and turning it into more than 5,000 members. What was that about back in
that's a really good question. So I started to do some research, and I found out that let's say our interests are really shaping when we are young. When a boy receives a car and they call him brave, and a girl receives a dress and they call her nice and cute. And well, I'm, as a mother, actually trying to diversify that. I'm really against buying my 2-year-old a kitchen. And I'm just okay, let's buy her Lego. Let's buy her more puzzles. So I really want to make sure that we are not, we are not limiting her. I want to diversify different experiences that she has. And I want to make sure that, because it's sometimes very hard when you just walk into the store, you can see all this stuff that kind of pink and catchy. Well, my actual daughter is not super interested in dolls. So yeah, I think I'm taking a little bit away the focus of the problem and the things that it started. So I, started just like, I talked to my colleague and I told her, let's organize a workshop and just, for girls to see if they're interested in coding. I shared the problem. She actually could relate because she's a developer, and she said, yeah, well, actually that's true what you're sharing. Let's do it. She got like super excited about that. And then we even ended up organizing 2 workshops instead of initially planned. And we did a course and everything like just, was going really well. Like girls were excited. And then
Can you take me back to that first workshop? What was that like?
Well, I was very excited. So while my colleague was doing a Scratch workshop, I was having a discussion with parents, and I tried to understand, what do they think? Do they think that coding is for the girls? What did they bring their child? Do they understand the value of it? So, and there were parents, both mothers and fathers, who some of them were already in tech and they really understood the value of it, that early on, and some of them shared that the girls are actually interested in coding. So in another room, there was a workshop. So girls were like getting excited about all it, They just like, when they walked out the room, they're like, Mother, I want to show you something, what I did. Like, I just, on the laptop, of course, but like, and then like, they were super excited. They really were eager to share with the parents. It meant that they didn't have a problem. Like, okay, this is not for girls. But of course, the girls were like age from 7 to 11, I think. No, this is like before they become teenagers, before they search for role models. So, but it's also critical in this age not to lose the moment, to kind of already shape in a more kind of, I don't know, like somewhat defined by somewhat in the society. Like kind of what is your daughter interested in? How do you make sure that you bring different diverse experiences, not to really limit the focus of the development?
At what point in this program in Coding Girls did you decide that you're going to scale this? So that's always a question that I'm interested in. You've done a workshop, you've done 2 workshops, you see that it's working. When was the point where you said, you know what, we're going all out. We want to really get this in front of thousands of people and not dozens of people?
Actually, people came to me. They saw that we were doing cool stuff. So people from my network, from the network of people who were sharing also, because we like got many people interested in like both like speakers, and later we were doing also meetups. For also women, for girls and women, high school girls. So, and then like people started to get to me like, I really love what you're doing. Can we do something like this in Philippines? Can we do something like this in Luxembourg? Can we do something like this in Berlin? So can we do something like this in Vienna? The list go on. So they really saw that we are doing something cool, and they were like, okay, I like what you're doing. Do you think you can share your experience? Like, and then they wanted to start a chapter. So people were coming to us. They could relate to the problem. That's what I shared in the beginning, that when you become, also when you feel that this is also a problem, many of our chapter leaders, they are mothers themselves working in tech, working in another industry, understanding the value, what the tech industry can bring, a part of different community. I was also that time an active part of a Drupal community. So, and then also through that community, got in touch with different people. So community is so valuable. And that's why I also wanted to create a really global community with currently that time with Coding Girls and currently with WomenTech Network.
What was the enabler that helped you make this a successful organization at scale? Was it simply that the problem was big enough? Was it the way that you helped these other organizers to create chapters in their own locations? What really was the catalyst for the scale here, in your opinion?
Actually, both factors that you mentioned are relevant. So it's a global problem. It's not a regional problem, right? There is no country in the world where you have like 50-50, but also because it comes down to gender equality. Some countries perform better, but it's like, I think maximum 25%, maybe in some European countries, you could have going up to 31 or something like that. But it's like the numbers are still low, and there is still lots to be done, because of the thing that women and their rights were suppressed for so many years, So they had to fight for studying at university, for example, voting. And for some countries, it even came later. So they're still fighting for the change to come, but it's getting better. And I think with the help of technology nowadays, especially being able to connect from every country in the world, just opening your computer and clicking, just log in into the conference platform and listening to all the talks. I think this is powerful.
Incredible. So let's transition then to the second organization that you founded, and we're looking at WomenTech Network. And here you've built a huge network of females all around the world through events, but also through an online community where you're empowering women to be leaders. What was the inspiration really tangibly to start the WomenTech Network?
So when we started WomenTech Network, it was pre-COVID times. So basically, we were receiving from both sides, from our community, requests to help them find a job at a company that, would value them for who they are, would create an environment where they could grow and where they could feel that they belong. And on the other hand, companies also started to reach out to us and say, hey, we have a problem. We understand we have a problem. We don't have enough women. We don't know why they don't apply. We would like to hire more women. Do you think you can help us? And we've been organizing offline events in the form of networking, speed networking, where companies and engineers, developers, product managers could talk, and see whether there is a fit, learn about different open roles and growth and what company values. And then we also had inspirational talks. So it was like a mix of inspiration and career networking. And that was really great. And everything was going well. And we had more than 50 events scheduled like in 2020. And then like it was March, beginning of March 2020. And we had to really cancel them all. So, and then we were like, okay. So we took somewhat like a week off with my co-founder to really try to understand what we can do in the current circumstances to continue our mission, because many communities were also puzzled and they didn't know what to do and they didn't know how to continue. So that's why like we decided that we are in tech, right? So what can we do with the help of technology? And then we thought, why not to do it virtual, right?
Right. And so the founding, the first steps of WomenTech, what was that really, what was the big challenge that you had to overcome as you were just starting out, something that was perhaps not trivial that you didn't expect to happen in the beginning?
I encountered so many challenges with coding girls already, this like already being in this space helped me a lot. I heard different things like different kind of in the beginning with coding girls, like jokes, can girls really code? Or I also heard something from a woman who was running a female-focused organization, not in tech, but in other field. And she was like, oh, you're, a millennial doing her like startup thing, different comments from different people. You gotta not take them, otherwise if you take them too close to your heart, they could really influence so deeply, and you need to make sure that you have constant discussions with the people who really need you and who really need the thing that you're doing. And when you are also again passionate about the problem and you really know what you're doing, such things don't really touch you so deeply, but it's still not pleasant because you understand that these people really block the way for girls and women to go in tech. And this is not good, right? Because it's not really growing. It's not really helping us. It's on the other hand blocking us. So yeah.
So if we're going 30,000 feet in the air and trying to understand, this global issue and how we solve it, what are, tangible ways in which we can begin to reach, a more equal world between men and women, especially in tech? What are some things that we should be really cognizant of, in your opinion, that I, as a young entrepreneur, anybody listening here, should take away from this conversation, in the regards to bringing equality between men and women in tech?
First of all, it's understanding that there is an issue, and men also should be part of the solution. If it's not your problem, then you could be part of the solution, and you should be part of the solution. Then also understanding the benefits of having more women in tech, both for the performance of your team, for building better product, for better financial performance. This is actually proven also that more diverse company perform better financials. There are thousands of studies on this. And I think that when companies really start more, we see that there is a positive trend and more companies are starting to recognize that. And there is also not enough tech talent. So companies and hiring managers, they're trying to tap into different pools of different pools, of talent, and trying to understand how they can grow the talent that they need. When they should start investing. Is it school? Is it university? How they can support them better? What they should do? What kind of opportunities should they offer? Like be it maybe mentoring program, or be it an internship, or being maybe it's for mothers who want to return to work. So kind of to really understand what are the ways you can help women in tech, and what are the ways that you can bring and grow, a more diverse workforce, so they can, again, because not understanding that you're building a product by, let's say, only men, or mainly men. You are not building it only for men, right? The world is so diverse. We have women, we have gender non-conforming. So like we want to make sure that you keep that in mind when you're building your product.
If you're looking at the last 5 years, specifically the last 5 years with these two organizations, what are you taking away from that? For yourself as a leader, what did you learn over the last 5 years that you're saying, you know what, no matter what I do next, I'm gonna take this or a few of these lessons with me on my journey?
That's a really good question. I never really thought about this from this perspective. I think that I would, if I have to do it again, I would have done it with mistake that I made. So like, it's worth the journey, the journey that I had. I think some things were not the way I imagined them to be. Sometimes when you start, you imagine more people to support you, or to kind of be able to be sustainable faster. So you need kind of it's like up and down. And it's important that you have a good support network, whether be it your partner, or be it your family, or someone could help you with children. So you need to make sure friends also, it's important, advisors, mentors, your community. So it's important to also ask for help. I think in the beginning, there were moments when I didn't really realize the power of that. And you kind of want to do it all yourself to kind of prove that you can do it, right? But it doesn't work this way. And I think we need to normalize that thing a little bit. In order to succeed, you need they say it takes a village. So yeah, it really takes a village. Sometimes it takes a city, maybe a country. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. And I think people who make it look like, I did it myself only. This is not true. There were so many people. And also, I don't believe in the thing like one person can do it all, can build it on their own. So this is not true. There are so many people involved in the process. And I always tell it like, I am able to do what I'm doing thanks to the great team, thanks to my co-founder, thanks to the babysitter who comes, because I told you that I have a 2-year-old. So there are so many components, that people don't see behind the maybe really good looking picture. And I think many people are trying even to make it even better, make it sound better, look better. And there's so much not real things on internet right now. And the thing that we're doing, for example, with our global conference, our virtual events, many of them are live. And all our talks at the global conference, at the global awards are live. So none of them are like pre-recorded or something, because we want to make sure that there is this kind of a real-time interaction with the audience. And I think people love that.
Incredible. If you had to look back at yourself when you were younger, what were you really curious about? What sparked your curiosity in you as a kid?
I was curious curious about so many things. I think general about the world. I really wanted to travel. As a child, I didn't have that opportunity. So there were years in my life when I was like traveling as much as I could. And I think I was traveling like maybe every week, every second week. And I was like, I really wanted to grab as much as possible, because I also knew when when I was pregnant, I was like traveling to so many countries because I wanted to make sure I make the most of this time that I have, because I knew with a child it will be not so possible, at least not in this capacity. So I really wanted to make sure I meet different people, learn about the culture, learn about their mentality, talk to them, listen to them, learn from them, contribute to their community. For example, as part of the Founder Institute, since we have chapters almost in every country in the world. So wherever I go, I, just check out who is out there, who's a mentor, who's a director, just thought, hey, I'm in the city, do you want to meet up for coffee, stuff like that. So that's also the power of being part of the global network. And actually was very inspired by Founder Institute. I joined Founder Institute before I started WomenTech Network. And I was very inspired by the power and the beauty of it. That's why I probably subconsciously also a little bit, but thanks to COVID, we also been able to scale globally. And I was also, we were also able to create a very global and diverse network.
I love it. Anna, thank you so much for the time and for your energy. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate just everything that you're doing to the world and to the female community around the world. Making women and men equal in tech, and I think that's such an important mission. And it's so obvious the impact that you're having on so many of the lives, whether it's Coding Girls or WomenTech Network or anything that you're going to do in the future, and everything else you've done in the past. So thank you very much for the great work, and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.